This is one of those EZAs that genuinely has potential because of the baseline structure of this character. Being able to go up to 50% HP is an amazing baseline. And today, I came up with an EZA that I really genuinely want your opinion on because I don't want Dokkan to fumble this EZA. I want this character to go from Fat Buu, who is good, to Super Buu, who is extremely powerful. And again, I think I accomplished that today, and I really want your thoughts on if you think I accomplished that, and if you think Dokkan should take notes, or maybe they shouldn't. Now let's go through each form, and let me explain the changes that I made and why I made them. All I have to do is click Extreme Z Awakened here, and you're going to see my own take on this EZA. So first things first, the base form for Exchange Buu. Really raised attack is cool. We need to add defense to that. No defense here is not acceptable. 40% damage reduction is good, but I think this character is honestly not doing much. So this is what I came up with for their EZA. All I did was add defense to the super attack. I think that's very fair. I gave this character 3% HP recovery at the start of turn, which I think is also very fitting for the team. Majin Power, they just love to regenerate HP, so we had to slap that on this character as well. 3 key, instead of just one, it's now, instead of just 1 key, it's now 3 key. Attack plus 150% and defense plus 130%. You're going to see this theme as we go out. The defense is going to be lower than the attack here because this character obviously just is meant to be just a damage dealing character here, and since they have such a high damage, or since the character has a high damage reduction value, we're not going to go crazy with defense. But dude, 130% to defense when this character had none before while having 40% damage reduction is huge, right? But this character still has 40% damage reduction here. Damage received from normal attacks minus 10%. So this character technically has 50% damage reduction, but when it comes to super attacks, it's just 40. But normal attacks, it is again going to be 50%. Medium chance of evading enemies' attacks, including super attack. Now I did basically rip that from the evil Buu here because before EZA, the evil Buu has a medium chance of evading enemy attacks. I thought, hey, why not slap that on to this character and upgrade that as we go? So we have HP recovery, we actually have defense, greatly raising own defense, extra damage reduction from normal attacks, which enemies are hitting very hard from normal attacks these days, and then this character can also evade. I think this is a very solid baseline for, the EZA. Let's move on to Evil Buu here. Now, Evil Buu has the same weakness when it comes to, what's it called? The super attack effect here, no defense. 2 key, 150% to stats, 40% damage reduction, high chance of stunning, and then medium chance of evading enemy's attack. Decent baseline, but needs to be improved. So for super attack, I did greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. I accidentally took off the chance to seal here, but I didn't mean to do that. So just imagine this enemy can seal, or sorry, Evil Buu can seal here. And then I gave this character recovers 4% HP at the start of turn, 4 key, 200% to attack, and 140% to defense. So basically, I increased the attack by 50%, right? Because Buu, when this EZA, has 150. So I increased that by 50%, and then defense by 10%. So defense was 130, and then now it's 140. Reduces damage received by 50%, and I mean, obviously it was 40% before. I think 50% when Evil Buu comes out is very important. You're going to see Evil Buu pretty soon in the fight, and I just don't think 40% damage reductions is going to be enough. Reduced damage received from normal attacks minus 20% now. So this character technically has 70% damage reduction against normal attacks, but for super attacks, it's just 50%. High chance of evading enemy's attack, including super attack, so it goes up from medium to high. And then great chance of stunning the attacked enemy, and performs additional super attack when the target enemy is stunned. So what I like about this concept here is that you're not just stunning, right? Now, if you do end up stunning, you're going to be able to raise your attack and defense yet again, which of course is going to be really, really, really strong. On top of the attack increase, the damage reduction, and then the defense on top of that damage reduction, this character is going to look very good defensively while recovering HP. I think this is a solid middle ground for what Evil Buu should look like upon EZA. And then Super Buu here, I kind of just went all out. I think this character is going to be extremely powerful if we get something like this. This is what I went with for the EZA. A lot here, but it's pretty simple. Recovers 5% HP. He gets 5 ki. Attack plus 250% and defense plus 150%. So again, increased by 50% from previous and 10% defense from previous. Reduces damage received by 50%. Damage received from normal attacks minus 30, so 80% damage reduction from normal attacks. This guy is not dying from normals, and by super attacks you still have that strong 50% damage reduction. And that's again why it's like I am literally not increasing defense by much here. I am not, but again, it's because the 50% damage reduction when you have over 100% defense is very, very strong. On top of not taking damage from normals at all, it's like if I put this at 250%, it'd just be broken at that point, right? So 150 defense is fine because you have 80% damage reduction against most attacks and then 50% damage reduction against super attacks. Great chance of dodging is also a very strong reason why I'm keeping this at 150. This character has a lot of defensive utility, dude. Recovering HP. I mean, it's definitely defensive, right? Because you're not dying. Recovering HP, 50% damage reduction, an extra 30% for normals, and a 70% chance straight up to dodge. It's a very strong character so far. Performs additional super attack when the target enemy is sealed. Now, there's no super attack here. It's basically going to be the same thing. I don't really want to change this too much because it's very strong as is. Another great thing to mention here is that you're greatly raising defense for 3 turns. So again, this number might even be too high. If you perform 2 super attacks, you're greatly raising defense for 3 turns with 80% damage reduction while recovering HP and 70% chance of dodge. That might be a little too strong, actually. I completely forgot about this, the super attack effect there. Now, this is where I think I like this character a lot, to be honest. Changes a random type of key sphere, tech excluded, into rainbow key spheres when all allies on the team are Majin Power or sworn enemy category allies. Definitely not a bad restriction if we're going to be completely realistic with ourselves. If I pull up Majin Power, as well as sworn enemies, you have a lot of options. A lot of options on this team. When I say a lot, I meant like with both teams combined, right? Both teams, not just like this specific team, but both teams combined. You can definitely build a really solid and strong team consisting of both Majin Power and sworn enemy category allies. So if you have a full team of those two, this character, which he couldn't do before because he was just getting buffed per rainbow key sphere obtained. Now, if you have that team, he can change orbs, tech excluded, into rainbow key spheres. Recovers HP by 3%, defense and chance to crit plus 20% per rainbow key sphere this character obtains. Recovers HP by 1%, all allies defense and chance to crit plus 5% per rainbow key sphere Majin Power or sworn enemy category allies obtain. So let's say this guy is in slot 2, and let's say you have this AGL Buu, the AGL Super Buu here, in slot 1, or any other character that fits these 2 categories in slot 1, and they, let's say, collect 5 key spheres, you're going to be recovering 5 rainbow key spheres, you're going to be recovering 5% HP, and that ally is basically, and this is all allies, that's not just that ally, but all allies on the rotation are literally going to gain 5% to defense and crit chance per rainbow key sphere. So you can have a rotation, let's say, where this guy, again, is in slot 2, right? So the slot 1 character, let's say the slot 1 character gets 3 rainbow orbs. You just gained 3% HP, and everyone on rotation has an extra 15% to defense and 15% chance to crit. Then this character is up, and since this character is on those categories, when this guy, let's say, collects 3 rainbow key spheres, you're going to gain an extra 3% HP, that's 6%, plus an extra 15% to all allies for defense and crit. So all allies right now basically have 30% chance to crit and 30% defense. But this character is also getting their own buffs. So an extra 3%, that's 15% HP on top of the 10%. That's 25% HP you just gained. Maybe this, I think this might be too strong. Defense and chance to crit plus 20% for this character alone. So you have 60% defense and 60% chance to crit. Yeah, actually, this might be too strong. I think I need to lower this like 3% or something. Because, or maybe I just have to exclude this character. Like, I have to exclude this Buu from the second part of the passive. Because if all allies gain or earn or get 3 rainbow key spheres, if all allies do that, the amount of, it's what, 45% chance to crit and 45% defense for all allies, including this character who's already getting a massive buff from this. So I don't know, maybe I gotta change something here. This is actually a little bit too strong. Actually, honestly, he deserves it though. I feel like extreme class characters deserve that. Sworn enemy category characters deserve that. Same thing with Majin Power. Same thing with all of these extreme. Honestly, leave it, dude. Just leave it. It's specifically Majin Power or sworn enemy category allies. So who the heck cares? F it. That's what extreme class characters need. That's what extreme tech characters need, and that's what Majin Power and sworn enemies need. So honestly, we're leaving it just like that. And yeah, I mean, this would end up being a very, very, very strong character that you must run on the team. And it's definitely a lot better than what we had here before. Let me know what you think. If you say it's too strong, ask yourself what's wrong with that. Just ask yourself what's wrong with that. Exactly. I'll see you the next one. Take care and peace.